Okay.
And I'll start the webinar. No one can see you yet. Now they're coming
Ah,
in.
you're live.
Right, we'll just wait for everyone to come in from the waiting room. Say hello when you can hear us, guys. And you'll see the chat pop up when someone says hello. There we go.
Hi.
Well done, everyone. You are the final survivors of the weekend. Still going. We've got 2 more sessions. They are very sparkly, aren't they, Helen? Dean says you look fabulous. Whoop.
But like I said, we didn't want to be outdone by the tree, so we
Yeah.
thought we'd make an effort.
And this is just a precursor to the costumes they're going to show you. This is nothing. This is like 1 out of 10.
This is what we wear to go when we're pushing the trolley around Lidl. It's just
Yeah.
simple, comfortable Sunday night outfit.
Oh, that's Christmas Quiz Toby. It is Christmas Quiz Toby.
It's Chris Toby, yeah.
Camp Entertainer Toby and Rebel Master.
Yeah, that's
Banana,
camp
Banana
entertainer as in at the camp, not like Larry Grayson, like, oh, get you. What am I like? Oof.
And I was about to call you Banana Master. You are,
Banana
you're
Master.
Team Banana, Rebel Master, Banana Master. Maybe Toby should have been in the innuendo-filled felting banana class.
That would have been fun. I've heard a lot about it, apparently. It was like the place to be.
Jade, there's no joining in. It's a listen and watch. It's going to
Yeah.
be literally, we all just sit here and chill, and these guys are going to tell us all about their costumes. You felted a Toby. I mean, maybe let Toby have a look at what you felted before he decides if he wants to take that ownership of that. Right, I will disappear from your screens. We've got 83 in at the moment. I reckon that will go up. We've got probably a few latecomers. So let me just mute myself and disappear.
Okay.
Before I disappear, I should probably introduce them. For those of you who haven't met them, Toby has done our quiz before at Rebel Fest. Toby is also our kind of entertainment guru for Rebel Camp. He will also be at the retreat. And Toby's lovely wife is Mickey, our second married couple of the weekend. And Mickey's been my friend for, gosh, 15, 20 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's the first time that Mickey's done a Rebel event. So woo, we've got Mickey at a Rebel event. Hopefully it's not going to be the last time. Right, I will disappear from your screens, guys. Oh, quickly, in keeping with your outfits, I thought the Rebels might like to know what I'm doing because I'm definitely the type of person who does 2 things at once. While I'm watching, I am packing your Rebel Cup badges, which are all really smart.
Nice.
Right, see you in a bit, guys.
Okay.
Go. Bye,
Right.
Charlotte.
Bye.
Perfect.
Right,
Yeah.
so-
Good evening. Hello, everyone. Yeah.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah. As Charlie said, obviously, I'm Toby. That's Mickey.
I'm Mickey.
Although it would be easy to confuse us, obviously, in matching outfits and stuff at the moment. But that's kind of like what we're here to talk to you tonight about and to give you not a brief, like an in-depth.
Well, it's kind of like for us going back in time to where we started to where we are now. And it's so nice to be able to share this with you. So thank you. Thank you, everybody who's joined.
Right. Well, as you can see, we are dressed up. Thank you for the fabulous. And like, yeah, hey, Mickey in your head. You did get to skate out, I think, once that, didn't you? And you were doing roller skating. So I am going to share a screen now. Let me just get that up there. If you could just let me know in the chat if you can see the screen that says tonight's subject. That would be perfect.
Just a nice thumbs up.
A thumbs
Not
up.
yet.
Not yet. Not yet. No.
Oh, okay. So let's try
No.
that
All right.
again.
Is it still us at the moment? Is
So
it?
if you go share.
Just you, we can see.
Okay,
Oh,
screen 2.
yep. It says
There we
you've
go.
started. Yep, now we can see it.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay,
Excellent.
Thank you.
Cool.
So let's make this a little bit bigger.
Right.
Okay, so shall we start from the beginning?
Yeah, okay, so tonight's subject, Rebels, we're going to give you... This is the closest we're ever going to get to a TED Talk, probably, so it's nice for us to be able to talk and wax lyrical on a subject as well. So, and we are here tonight to give you an in-depth conversation regarding a very specific subject, okay? So to break this down into a little sort of an acronym for you. Okay, tonight's talk is all about designing. And obviously, what do we design? Well, we are designing inspiring. We're designing inspiring costumes as well. The style of which a lot of these could be described as kitschy costumes as well. And obviously, they're always for use in a hedonistic environment, which is where we generally wear these costumes. And of course, what are we wearing these costumes for? Generally, it's dancing.
So what does that spell, guys?
Dickhead. Right. Which is why tonight's chat is all about
How we dress as dickheads.
yeah, Mickey and Toby dress like a dickhead as well, as we have done for sort of quite a long time as well. Now, we're going to take you on a tale that is a decade in its telling now.
I cannot believe how long it's actually been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 years,
10 years.
of dressing up. Now, we're going to explain to you briefly about what it is we do, where we do it, where we've done it. Will this work for scouting and guiding gangsters? Yeah, I mean, you can. This is for all ages and for everybody, basically, as well. And it's kind of like once again, obviously, we know Charlie through roller derby, which obviously is the roller skating sport, but it's like a weird niche hobby where it wasn't ever something planned. We've kind of fallen into it.
We stumbled into it and all become revealed.
Yeah.
But do you want to click on to the
we
next?
stumbled into it like we
Yeah.
stumble into clothes accessories
Yeah.
covered in glue and come
Yeah.
out
There you go.
covered in
Sparkly.
sequins and stuff. Yeah. Okay, right. So, first of all, I missed a thing there? No. Let me give you a little video example of
All our costumes out in the field.
out the field, yeah. There you go. Video evidence of what we get up to.
So this is how it all began. So chapter 1.
Yeah, chapter 1, The Road to Stupidity. Now, we are way back in 2016 at this point, aren't we?
Yeah.
Almost 10 years ago now. How the original conversation went was that, and I don't know how you felt, I was always a snob when it came to the idea of going to Butlins. I'd never been to Butlins, and I was always like, no, that's not for me. It's for kids, or it's for people trying to get trashed and sort of drink cheap booze. And I was like, never want to go to it. But then some people we know were going because there was a TV show on at the time called The Big Reunion. Now, The Big Reunion was a show where they had reformed some bands. So Bewitched, Five, I think
Atomic Kitten.
Honeys.
Yeah, Atomic Kitten was there.
Yeah.
So, back together.
Yeah. And they'd reformed these sort of groups on TV as like a reality TV show, obviously showing the ups and downs they were practicing as well.
Yeah, and they brought it to Butlins.
Yeah. So they brought it on a Butlins tour as well. So we were like, yeah, all right, that kind of sounds fun. So we went. I'd heard that people dressed up at sort of Butlins, and I was like, I'm not dressing up. I was going, I'm not dressing
we
up.
had no idea how much people were going to get on board with dressing up as well. But what level of dressing up they did on a Saturday night?
But like, I was like, I'm not going to dress up at Butlins. I don't want to dress up as well. One of the people we went with, Carly, dressed as a bumblebee as well, and then had some creepy dude trying to sort of like mac on her all evening. So it was just like, yeah, she wasn't impressed. He wasn't.
I was a
particularly-
penguin.
Yes,
Yeah. He was a creepy dude. So we went to that event, and I was just like, well, it was all right. It was not too bad, though. Like, we could consider going again. So we were working out the timeline of this earlier, and it was literally like, I think, almost a year and a half to 2 years later. We were like, okay, let's go back to Butlins, shall we? So we ended up looking then. So actually, no, that was that was earlier than that. Was 2013.
So it came
wasn't
up in my time hop that Butlins back together was 2013. So. And then the big reunion. Yeah.
It's called the big reunion was the weekend.
but the Butlins event.
No, it was a big reunion.
Yeah.
So then...
And then we came across Mighty Hoopla was on one of the events at Butlins, and we thought, oh, that sounds interesting. And that was at the Bognor Regis.
You went to the big reunion. Oh, Lindsay.
Yeah, nice.
We were there, yeah.
Yeah, 2014.
2014, yeah. So a little while later, 2 years later, we were like, should we go back as well? So we looked through the listings, and then obviously 80s weekend, 90s weekend, and then there was one that just jumped out because it was called the Mighty Hoopla. So obviously we weren't knowing too much about it, but it was just like, well, that's a bit different. Seems like a bunch of pop stuff that's on, and that kind of seems sort of interesting. So we thought we'd go to that. So when we get to that, we did not know at this point at all that Mighty Hoopla was basically all of London's pop, cabaret and gay clubs doing a Butlins weekend takeover.
It's like a big takeover, yeah.
Except that it wasn't 100% takeover, because at that time you had like 95% them and then 5% of normal bloke in a flat cap.
Probably would have paid for a day pass just
Yeah.
to kind of come in. So it was quite funny to see the 7-foot drag queen with the two like go-go boys and then a family like walking through like the pavilion bit. Yeah, so it was really interesting.
So this was kind of our first exposure to the drag scene in a sense as well, like that, and that kind of camp hedonistic environment, which we'd not experienced before as well. So we were like, okay, so this is good. This is kind of interesting. Now, obviously, you can see on here, there's a bunch of other logos from different companies and events as well. And this really was like the jump off point that then took us to a bunch of other events. We'll show you more on stuff in a little bit. But obviously, Mighty Hoopla was an idea from a group called Sink the Pink. And Sink the Pink put on events in London. And then Sink the Pink led us to finding a local event called Glittership, which was like its smaller equivalent in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Then we also went to like the What Club, which is a club in London as well. Milkshake was a festival in Amsterdam, yeah. And then obviously Drag World, Morning Glory was a dry rave, but they also encouraged dressing up. And then obviously RuPaul's DragCon as well. So back to Mighty Hoopla, the first one. We hadn't really done any dressing up or making costumes at that point, but we were like, well, okay, we need to go dressed up as something, because everyone obviously does dress up, and the theme on the Saturday night was pop music.
Pop music, yeah.
So we ummed and ahed over it. Mickey is a big Madonna fan, so it was like, okay, do you want to go as a Madonna look? But we'd done that before for something, and I
kind of wanted to go like a
couple's outfit. Yeah, and I couldn't really think of anything, so we had a little toy and a little think around, and then what we actually eventually ended up deciding on was, for those of you of a certain age that might remember, Paula Abdul and MC Scat Cat had a song called Opposites Attract as well. So
this was my first dabble at making oversized trousers, and how I did that as well is I made a pattern out of newspaper. So I just got a load of newspaper, I got some tape, drew out basically what we wanted, got some felt, cut it out, sewed it together, and I didn't have a sewing machine then, so it would have been hand stitched, but it worked out pretty well. The shoes are clown shoes, which are made to look like giant Adidas. So most of the costume, like the concept, is round Toby's MC Scat Cat, whereas mine is all shop bought.
Yeah,
that's the last time I'll wear a wig as well. By the way,
but this was just our dipping the toes into this, obviously, and doing something to go into that environment as well. So then we had our exposure to obviously a lot of people that put a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of time into their outfits, and obviously really go like beyond. And obviously with drag outfits, you can push boundaries, you can pick some incredibly niche subjects
just
to
really express yourself, really.
Yeah. So as I said, Mighty Hoopla was an offshoot of a night in London called Sink the Pink. So night in London called Sink the Pink, and that had an event coming up just a few months after Butlins. So we were like, okay, I want to get into that, because Bewitched were also playing there, and I don't know if Bewitched were actually at the big reunion one, because but I'm not okay. But
I think they were. Yeah.
But we wanted to go in to see that. So at first we didn't particularly go all out, because the theme of it was it was religion or church.
And we didn't really know what the event was going to be like, so that's why we kind of just came up with a concept. Yeah. We like to spin things on their head as well, so don't always have to be literal with what the themes are. Yeah. So this introduced us to like the schwings as well, which are the like the wings on our Converse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously, about that gif there, literally it was true. We were just very basically dressed as well at that point, because we had no idea. And obviously, whenever you go into like a new night or something, you're like, well, I'm not quite sure what I can get away with or what to do. But the thing we find about Sink the Pink, which unfortunately is no longer going, is it used to be held at a lovely venue, which is like a big old theatre called the Troxy. And you had X amount of thousand people in there, but it's one of the places where normally with like fancy dress as well, you get X amount of people that will make an effort, and then the majority won't. Here it was flipped on its head.
Yeah.
There was about there was times when you'd see 3 people in a t-shirt, which obviously looked odd, and everybody else is fully costumed. Or if they're not, they are sort of, and I say, because it was an LGBTQ event mainly, they're like dudes with shredded abs that can get away with walking around in sort of sexy, sort of thigh-high,
as well.
Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman, sort of fuck me boots, while kind of like, you know, and obviously we were like, well, okay.
Can't compete with that.
Unfortunately, my abs aren't at that stage, nor have they ever been at that stage, so we have to find a way.
And we tend to go a bit comedic, don't we, with our approach?
So we had a good night
point.
out. We had a good night out, and we decided to sort of obviously start going back to
This
this
is
as
good.
well.
So we went from basic to getting noticed. So we knew we had to really level up, because now we've been exposed to that community, and we saw how vibrant and very glitzy everybody is, and it was just such a good vibe as well. And even for us, you know, turning up to this event, never once did we feel that we were never welcomed. And the music, cheesy, but it's all pop, Madonna, Kylie, all of that stuff. Really, really, it was so cool. We loved it, didn't we?
I mean, it's a good point there. That, like, when you go to, say, like an event at first that's obviously aimed at a different group to the group that you belong in as normal, you're a little bit like, am I going to be accepted here?
Yeah, like imposter syndrome.
Yeah, you know, like, I mean, you're not a little bit sort of sure how it's going to be received, but super friendly. Everyone was dead nice, and we had a good time.
Yeah,
and
we've never been made to feel that we've never been welcome to a Sink the Pink event. And if anything, you know, Glyn, who runs it, he actually always comes and talks to us and says, gosh, that we're the spirit of this is exactly what they're trying to break down the barriers, and they want it open for everybody, and we're welcomed to them, which is really nice.
So something that was very important for us with going to these events was like it was kind of contribution and making an effort, and that's what started to sort of be recognised when we did it. So one of the earliest Sink the Pinks we went to here, and this was back in 2016.
One of my favourite outfits.
So the theme was toys, and we love the fact that with these events they would have a theme, so it wasn't just like a random hodgepodge. There was something to kind of like have to think about and like kind of play along with as well. So we did a bit of doodling, and we were like, what childhood toys do we want to go as well? So in the end we opted on, we weren't doing couples costumes at first there. Buckaroo is looking a bit different, so to explain what I went as not Buckaroo but Fuckaroo. Okay, so Fuckaroo there. Obviously, I've got a front butt. I've got a various phallic objects, and these, the little people on my shoulders there are 2 like naked dudes and stuff as well. And I think there's a background picture which you can see in the one of me crawling across the stage there, and they're butt tits. So I've got boobs on my butt as well.
I decided to go with Hungry Hippos. So all these are made out of foam. Toby made these.
Upholstery foam. Something I like working with.
So it was really easy to mould and cut, and they came out super brilliant. Loved it. And then back then, you could quite easily get the 1950s style dresses were in, sort of in 2016, so you could get the dresses, and I thought to try and make it more like 3D, you could put the polystyrene balls on. They actually fell off throughout the night.
Well, you got rugby tackled by some.
And I did. It's just like, what the hell? But they used to have scouts out walking around everybody, and if they felt that you were worthy to go onto the stage, they would take you backstage, and you would go up on stage. I was terrified. I mean, there's about 3,000 people at this event, and it's just like, well, what do you want me to do? And they always picked the worst song for me to like walk out on.
If it was just come out, walk, do a bow, and then like go off, fine.
They expect you to do something. Just like, I don't know. So we're backstage going, what can we do? What can we do? Because the previous one, we've been to one before, and it was like Britney bitch. I had to walk out and was going, I can't do this. I cannot like dry hump the floor and stuff like that. It's not me at all. But I was just like, if they put like a really cool song on.
Dry hump the floors for everybody. You can always dry hump the floor,
Yeah. So we were like backstage going, what we can do? And I said, well, they're going to give us a crude song, aren't they? So you got on all fours, and I'll just pretend that I'm like riding you or something like that. And you know what? We were robbed because we should have won that. But if
Yeah, so
anybody
if-
is a drag,
If you take a little look here on the image, bottom left there,
But
and you'll
if-
see the person that
yeah.
won is the person in a
Yeah.
sort of showgirl, a Vegas
They
showgirl,
drafted
which doesn't have anything to do with the theme at all. Vegas showgirl, and they were from America as
Yeah.
well. We didn't know who it was at the time, but it turns out
No.
that was
Aquarius.
Aquaria.
Aquaria. Yeah.
sort of
That
ended up
won
winning Drag Race, yeah.
So we lost by well, we kind of won because one of the panelists walked past us and said, "Oh, you were robbed," and we're going, "Yeah, we know."
Yeah. But it's fine. We'll let it go. But
Yeah.
unless we see them in the street,
Yeah.
and then it's on site.
There's like Neil Tennant in the back from like
Pet Shop Boys.
Boys. It's just so random.
Yeah.
And
Well, he was just there to see some West End girls, wasn't he?
yeah, he was. Yeah, very funny. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, but once again, so now we've thought, oh, okay, we know the
getting
level of
noticed.
effort we're going to make
Yeah,
as well,
we're getting
and
on
start these
stage.
costumes. And I say, there was something I really love. I think when you're doing dress up, if you've got too open a subject matter, it's easy to just like struggle to come up with something a little bit. I need some sort of parameters and some little kind of like blockers to make
Yeah.
me think, okay, right, what can we do here? So the next event we went to, it might have been the previous one,
Yeah.
was Under the Sea. So we knew damn well that sort of
They're all going to be mermaids.
those of them,
aren't they?
yeah, they're going to be mermaids,
sea
or
sirens.
it was basically going to be a pair of pants with a shell stuck on it, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, look at me on the beach. It's like, yeah, well done, love.
So what
Excellent.
did we do?
Yeah, sexy octopus type, yeah. So for this one, I decided to go as Davy Jones' locker as well. So I made a locker, as you can see, belonging to Davy Jones as well, school locker, gym, American high school style. And then we were in the crowd in that as well. Obviously,
stories.
I got a minimal vision, which it seems to be the story of my life, because obviously at the weekends as a side hustle, I do children's entertainment. This morning I have been Olaf on ice. With Anna and Elsa skating around an event as well for like a session in the morning, and obviously I do other different kids' costumes. I've had to draft Mickey in to help out sometimes because she was Super Mario for one week as well.
Yeah, but coming back to this,
I
yeah.
had minimal vision, and obviously at one point someone came up to me, a girl did, and she was going, "Oh, excuse me, can I ask a question? Are you gay?" And like obviously she knocked on my door, to ask to be let in, and I was like, "Well," I says, "No, I'm not white." And she goes, "Oh, my mate fancies you," and I'm like,
you can only see his
"What?"
legs.
I'm like, "What? What are they into? Right angles? I'm a box with legs." So the only thing we can assume is that like maybe it was some sort of like they got like a deal or no deal kink, and they weren't sure that if they opened the door whether we're going to be getting a pound, £1,000 or a penny, but sort of.
But then tell them what happened when you were on stage. What they
So
asked you to do.
we got made to go on stage again, as always, as well. So in the background, you can see the judges here. You got Jodie Harsh, the DJ, and Princess Julia, and Emanike as well there as well, and Rebecca Ferguson, I think
so,
singing. Yeah. So I was made to do a dance, which obviously is kind of hard when you're a box. Thank you on those calves there. I did have tentacles that popped out. Originally, I planned, and I apologise for the poor taste of this, I originally planned that I was going to do the tentacles like big dicks, and I remember we talked about having like silly string that would shoot out of the ends of them.
But again, that's not practical.
But it was like not practical, but yeah. So, but I was told when on stage I've got to stage dive as well. So it's like, oh God's sake, right, fine, okay. So as you can see on the top right here, there's me preparing. There's like a jellyfish person before me. Then I run and jump into the crowd. And then I'm being passed around there.
Obviously,
on top of the crowd.
didn't last because the box itself broke.
It was all right. No, to be fair, the box stood up. It was well. It was good.
Okay.
Foam board, foam board from Hobbycraft. That.
Yeah.
So I then ended up like coming down to the floor in the crowd as well, and at that point, I sort of like people are helping me up, and I feel hands on my bum. And I was like, oh, Mickey's obviously come down as well off the stage. And then I look over at the stage and Mickey's still on the stage. And I'm like, right, okay.
Not me.
Someone's just
Taking advantage
and having a cheeky squeeze. I was like, that's fine. I don't mind. I'll take what I can get. Compliments and, and butt grabs is fine. So, yeah.
So another example of really taking a theme and then throwing it on its head. It was the next event. where it was all
Prom.
about prom night.
Prom night, yeah.
We're going, oh God, what are we going to do for this now? Because I don't want to...
That's kind of a harder thing to think of, because I mean, like, a lot of it's just obviously like
Everything's gonna be the
tuxedos
same.
or
Yeah.
pretty dresses, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So
we went through a stage where we were buying so much rubbish like from China, and you could get like plastic fruit and vegetables. So what's better than getting some potatoes and then creating a potato crowd and going prom de terre?
yeah, we went as prom de terre. So, because I mean, we thought, well, that's at least, you know, obviously no one wants to turn up to an event and have somebody dressed the same as them. We thought it quite unlikely that anyone was going to go down the route of a Maris Piper or a King Edward themed costume.
Yeah.
So, and plus, it was kind of that. This is one of my more comfortable.
It was very
costumes.
comfortable. Not so comfortable for Eve, though, who was the star guest singing when all her backing music didn't even come on.
Wouldn't
so
play.
It wouldn't play. Oh, the awkwardness. She stood there for like 20 minutes waiting for her music to start. And then she did a little bit of like a cappella stuff. But she had to leave, and it's a lesson for everybody. Be prepared. Make sure you got that backup USB stick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was super awkward.
So, talking about costumes, wherein you can wear them, and obviously on why you'd wear them as well. So, I mean, you got to have your inspiration. Now, I think prior to those sorts, to obviously starting to come to these sorts of things, the only really like kind of, you know, exposure to that sort of thing was anything you might have seen on TV or films. Obviously, Eurotrash. Now, on Eurotrash, I'd always sort of liked when they had those weird couples that are like artists and like dressed the same. On Eurotrash, if you ever watched it, there was a couple, and they're both dressed in pink, and they've both got
Yeah.
razored bald heads, as well, a guy and a
Yeah.
woman as well.
Or the clothes show as well with Lee Bowery.
Yeah.
He used to dress up with he always had a mask on, and he was like always going in and out of shops and things like that. And so those are kind of the exposures we had kind of growing up.
And as a young person, I don't know, for those of you of a certain age might remember the Divine David used to be on, I think it was like Channel 4 or something, but they were like these weird little shorts, and sort of like, you know, back when you used to get the boundaries of youth TV pushed by like Janet Street Porter and those sorts of things, and they're being a bit more quirky, a bit more edgy.
And then you start to look at Club Kids then, which is more of your New York scene, and then even if you go back to the early 80s with the New Romantics and them all experimenting with makeup and clothing and all of that, but you always find these sort of scenes that they lend themselves to the bigger cities. London, we couldn't walk through Redditch dressed the way that we do. It would be kind of like a what the hell
You could do, but
moment.
we get chased. And
Yeah,
stuff
we'd
as
get
well,
chased,
So,
yeah.
So obviously those kind of things started to inspire us, and you then get like a callback to that. But I mean, if you're going to go out dressed in a certain way, you need to make sure it's the right environment to do it, and the safe environment to do it. Now, obviously, as I said before, Sink the Pink is an LGBTQ plus night as well, but welcoming to allies as well, and especially welcoming to those people that contribute, put effort in, and obviously bring a little something to the night as well. And we were getting nothing but positive receptions and
it
meeting
was
some lovely
something
people.
we've never ever experienced before as well, like a total appreciation for what we were doing.
And how we always used to joke as well that like sometimes the problem is like where we parked to go to these events, you'd sometimes have like a 10-minute walk like down the back streets of London.
anxiety.
Yeah, and you were always like, I don't want to be doing this.
I just don't
I'd rather
wanna-
be at
I don't wanna
home.
be- I
I
don't
don't want to
wanna
be
be-"
here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be
And
at home.
then-
And then we'd walk in, and some people would go, "Yeah, fabulous!" Clap, snap, 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 and you're like,
"Ooh,
"Oh,
look at me,
I just threw this on my emperor's new clothes kind of thing." Yeah, and that positive reception,
Yeah, it
and
just
that
goes straight away. But
Yeah.
it's always that and then the only way that I break down if someone's kind of staring at you is a really big smile going, "Hi, how are you?" You know, to try and diffuse any kind of, you know, nasty words. But we've never witnessed anything personally.
we've been lucky
quite
enough.
lucky.
We've been lucky
I
enough.
think because we dress the same as well, it looks like we are deliberately
act.
going out. And there have been times we've gone to events where they thought we are part of the event as well. I want to push that next time if they think we're part of the
Try and
act
sneak in.
to see how far we can actually get.
Yeah. So from these nightclubs as well, we started going, oh, okay, we're quite good at this. Let's go to some other things as well. So one of the, obviously expanding on our drag adventures then was one of the first conventions.
Yeah.
Which back then was Drag World, and Drag World was an independent.
Yeah, nothing to do with RuPaul's Drag Race, although they did have RuPaul girls coming over, like on a meet and greet, and have the booth and all of that, and we got to meet, like, Michelle Visage was over at the time.
But one of the things about being independent was like much better value. It was a lot cheaper than sort of
and
like.
And it was open to the younger generation as well that couldn't go to the clubs because they're not 18, but they can come along to this event. And it's amazing how much the younger generation are so talented with the way that they portray their look, and it just really opened up, and they could meet their idols as well.
So we decided to do like a toy kind of like look again here as well. What you see here is the culmination of 5 weeks of car boot sailing and having to go and haggling with people. Yeah, I'm not giving you £3 for an old frog that your kid's been sick on. It's you're getting 20 pence if anything,
Yeah.
Even we were on holiday for one point, so my parents, bless them, went to the car boot for us with a budget. Here's like £20. I bought loads of cuddly toys for us.
So what you see here is underneath is a red lab coat. And then what we had to do is take all the stuffing out of the toys as much as possible. We glued them on, so you can imagine that this outfit only lasted a day.
And smelt.
Oh, the weight of it as well. What the head part was actually off a pram.
They're like sunshades.
Yeah, so we covered that in fur. We've got like boot covers as well and put big googly eyes on. And then the key on the back was made out of foam, which you got from China. And then Tobes found like a little fishing game for children. And we pinched the mechanism out of that, which made it go round.
When you watch videos online of people doing like awesome cosplay stuff as well, and they engineer like Iron Man's helmet opening up, I can't do that. I wish I could. But what I can do is like think, right, what components can I buy and then can I like bastardize and put together to make something? So as Mickey said, I bought one of those little magnet fishing games, a battery powered one from Argos that you get, and then we literally sort of like took off all the gubbins, put them onto the back, obviously on the side.
And the key rotated.
Yeah, so the key would rotate on our backs like we were Clockwork Toys for the rest of the day.
And you can see there we're dabbling with our makeup as well, so starting to experiment with makeup and how it works with our face. Trying to put eyeliner on you.
So I'm pretty rubbish with like makeup.
Yeah, stop blinking.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, isn't it? No one teaches that. You don't get taught that at boys' school.
I know, but it's really hard putting I can do it myself, but putting makeup on other people I find quite difficult. I don't know if you guys can relate to that.
This is what happens to middle-aged couples that don't have children. We always say this as well. You find other avenues. So a lot of these events we were going to were London centric, so it would be nice for us to try and find something sort of that was a bit more local.
And we did look at the gay
so
scene
in Birmingham there is a club called the Nightingale, which has been there for a long time,
from the 60s.
And then they had a night called Glitter Shit, which sort of the one night we couldn't make it. The very first one was like fairies and stuff as well, so we couldn't make that, but we decided to go to the next one. The next theme that they were doing was takeaway, so it was very much we'll call it Sink the Pint Light, wasn't it? 'Cause obviously it's a much smaller venue on a much smaller scale, but with the same sort of ethos and idea.
But again, had the same kind of reception, didn't we?
Yeah.
We were very welcome to it.
Takeaway was a thing which I thought was great because it's different. Okay.
Can you see the theme here? Tobe always goes to the grotesque, where I try and like stay glamorous as much as possible.
I'm out there representing vegans. I'm not a vegan, but sort of saying, look, meat is murder. So we decided to go with obviously a takeaway theme here. We made a headpiece for Mickey, which once again, foam board, super light, easy to cut up with a scalpel. You can hot glue it. You can make little hinges and stuff in the background as well and put them up.
Yeah, but with the headdress, this was our first sort of dabble into making a headdress, taking the Alice band, but realising that the weight distribution. So a lot of the night where you can see me holding, to dance or to move around, I was having to constantly hold it. So as time's gone on, we've mastered how to make that a little more stable.
Yeah. And I decided to do a KFC Colonel Sanders look, where obviously, as Mickey said, I've got chickens bursting out of my boobs, and there was one round the back as well coming out like a prolapse
it was gross.
Yeah. bonus bucket for everybody. That was.
Yeah.
And I've got chicken fingers as well.
Yeah.
So
it was good. It was
fun
a good
night.
one. It was a fun night.
Cheesy
It was a
pop.
good introduction into the Birmingham scene.
Yeah. Now, one of the next themes that they did was, which I thought this is one of my most favourite themes ever, was the internet as a theme. And I was going, as a theme, that's brilliant because there is literally like 50 new memes a week you could dress as. So back then, we went sort of dressed up here. Now, those of you who remember some earlier internet stuff might remember Boo, the cutest dog in the world, which I'm not sure what breed of dog it is, but it's like a little dog featured in lots of things.
We'll show
as well.
you in a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe in the chat you can tell us what breed it
Yeah,
is.
and as you can see there, I'm like an anime schoolgirl, but those are fake legs. So my legs were in the bear, which I was on the back of, being carried around the club there. So to show the inspiration on that particular outfit, obviously Mickey went as Boo,
so cute.
the world's cutest dog, there on the right, and I kind of went as 4chan message board there. So like with an anime waifu, and that bear, for those of you that remember some of the early internet, he was called Pedo Bear. He was a safety bear, I think, from like a Japanese website, but they turned him into Pedo Bear.
Yeah,
so he
nice.
was always chasing kind of like lolly girls round as well.
Yeah.
So we use that as the
Yeah,
theme.
but if anybody knows the breed of that dog,
Put it in the chat. There's
put it in
no
the
prize,
chat.
but there might be a prize. Who knows? Yeah.
Pomeranian.
Pomeranian,
Yeah.
smart, Dina
There we go,
Jensen,
thank you.
smartest of the dog knowledge.
I'm sure Boo's not with us anymore.
No, unfortunately not. The life of the world. They should change that to the death of the world's cutest dog.
Yeah.
Nut. Right, you're a dog nut. It's a good thing to be. So, Glitter Shit had a prom night as well, which we got to go to. So,
Puppets!
yeah, we became puppets for that as well, and obviously sort of dressed in all sort of like blacks, theatre black, so you can't see the bodies, and
Yeah,
then
it's all about illusion.
which is
Yeah.
perfect in a nightclub because you can't
Yeah.
make it out apart from your sort of
And there is a video of me dancing to Hey Ya
Yeah.
by Outcast.
Yeah.
Hey Ya.
and you might have seen a little
And
bit in
that's
the
probably as
beginning.
much as I can do with the puppet hands.
Yeah.
But this is so funny because whenever we do puppets, we're just smiling and laughing, and it kind of just, it really relates to people. Some people are creeped out by the puppet hands, especially when you go up behind
Start
them
stroking
and
them
then
with
you start stroking
the
them.
little velvet mitt.
Yeah.
But it's
But it was a lot of fun.
yeah.
They were fun to make.
You miss these nights in Birmingham when you live there, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as I say, so with the thing like puppets, it's a little bit like doing children's entertainment. That like
Yeah.
when you're a character or a cute creature or something, people are very receptive.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
And obviously, at this point, you have to learn that you are basically an Instagram prop because
Yeah.
everyone wants a picture with you
Oh,
just to make
yeah,
their
yeah.
Insta pop off as
Yeah.
well. But it was a fun night, and it was. It's there where you talk about like a little bit like of imposter syndrome because obviously we ended up winning that night and winning.
We
It was
did.
like mix glitter shit, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
so we're a little bit like, not
But I
not
think
straight
that's-
washing, but like,
I think that's when we realised that the barriers are just down because it's just all about having a good time and having a lot of fun. And the best place to be is actually up on the stage because these events get so busy and sometimes our outfits are so impractical and big, it's difficult to get around.
Very good
But
point.
it's really good to get
Yeah.
up on stage.
dress like an idiot, and you've got more chance of getting a free
Right,
VIP
yeah,
upgrade,
yeah.
and like you can be tucked away from everybody
Yeah.
else, and you're not going to get crushed.
yeah.
So let's have a little talk about problem solving and learning from mistakes. Things that we've done. One. And obviously sometimes time is against you, but having fittings ahead of time or a field test because you can make something and it looks perfect, you're like, wicked, that's awesome, great, it's done, job's done. Pack it away, you then put it on, and for the first 10 minutes it's fine. 15 minutes
Yeah.
in, you've got a pressure headache.
pressure
We've done
head
some
or things are falling apart.
We had some headpieces that like looked fantastic, but then they
For
started
you.
putting
Yeah,
my head's
pressure.
much bigger than yours, so obviously it was putting loads of like pressure onto my head. I got like a banging headache all day from
And
that.
I've got a really good story which is going to come up later about something that went wrong.
Yeah. I mean, we did something as well where obviously we did a costume recently where, because obviously I'm taller than Mickey and I've got naturally a longer neck like a beautiful gazelle and stuff as
Yeah.
well. Or
yeah.
I've got good clearance for a costume, whereas she
for
was.
me, but again, we'll that comes in later on, so we can talk about the how we take an outfit to match both of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as in like no two bodies or heads are the same.
Yeah.
So last minute themes from promoters.
They keep you waiting sometimes.
Yeah. So sometimes it's difficult to think of something quick.
Or sometimes you keep yourself waiting
Yeah.
with last minute inspiration, and results can sometimes come from that. Sometimes, like we will say, sometimes working with pressure is better, because if you've got if you go, oh, I've got 8 months
too much time.
and I've got a limited budget.
And then when we make something, we look at what we're going to take and go, oh my God, are we even going to get this in the back of the car?
Yeah.
And again, we've got an example of showing you that it just about
fits.
fitted.
Now, not every promo video tells the truth. Do your research. Sometimes you'll see something online, a lot like AI slop these days, where you're like, is that actually what I'm going to get as well? So this is what we call legally blonde situations as well.
So we have to remember, we're 2 years into this. We've been Sync the Pink, we've been to Glitter Shit. We just was on assumption that all the gay nights, everybody dressed up. However, we go all the way down to London.
Yeah, we drive down 2.5 hours to London to a night called Little Gay Brother,
And
which looked fabulous in the video.
It did, and we dressed like this.
Yeah. But when you got there, everybody else was in grey t-shirts. It was only the people on stage that were dressed up, and us as
How
well.
impractical were those headdresses as well?
Yeah, luckily we didn't try and drive in those. That would have been really difficult.
I know. Look
But
pretty when we walking down the street.
It looked good on the street. We got stopped on the street for lots of pictures, but we were in the event for 45 minutes.
And we came
and then
home.
we were like, should we just go home?
Yeah,
and it
for
was
a tea and ginger biscuits.
Well, yeah, or it's generally it was Fredo and Costa and a Fredo.
It was, yeah.
Costa and a Fredo on the way home.
But these headdresses, it was Christmas time, Hobbycraft, we're doing polystyrene snowflakes. We got the long barbecue wooden sticks and like put them together, and again we're using a headdress, but we put nails through so that you can just about see them and to push them on. So incredibly fragile. I had to be very careful going through doors. Often I'm having to tell Toby duck, because if he hits his head, they'd easily snap off.
Nothing but respect for people that can build absolutely everything from scratch. But there's sometimes when you have to just think quickly and get something prefabricated and knock it together to make a costume as well. What Club was a similar situation where it was a games theme as well. So obviously we went down dressed as Ms. Pac-Man and like a Super Mario themed. Did they not hurt? Yeah, a little bit. It's a bit Hellraiser situation when I mean, they were alright. They were just awkward.
They were lightweight, but they were just awkward. So walking from the car to the event, any gust of wind, you're having to hold on. Having to do the crab like sideways through doorways. Having to be careful going through the crowd. But that particular one, it's usually the weight that hurts the neck after a long period of time.
I mean, I look at this picture here and I'm like, did you just guide me around like a blind person?
I did.
Like, because I mean,
I was your helper.
There's no secret. I mean, if I was sensible, in hindsight now, what I would have done is would have bought some yellow mesh fabric, cut a section out of that box and put yellow mesh behind it so I could have seen out of a little letterbox. I didn't have that. I was basically just looking down at my own.
So I remember actually speaking to somebody at the time, and then he came and said, "Oh, you guys look great." And I said, "Well, what's happened?" He said, "Oh, we decided to have a night off tonight." And it's like, great.
Yeah.
So we kind of stuck around. The music wasn't great, and decided to come home.
But still fun. So we obviously, neither of us, obviously you might think, oh, well, to dress it like that you must get loaded. No, neither of us drink.
Sober.
We don't drink. Which is when day events
we're like, yes, Sunday, but they only ever did one event, because I think most people were probably walking back to their flats at 6 in the morning.
They obviously decided to put on like a day event as well, which we were like fantastic, but most people want to go out on a Saturday night.
And Savage Disco is another event that's down in London, which I think we've been to one. But we couldn't get in. It was so rammed. We kind of went in, stood like this, and then this is not for us. But those are money boxes that we got from Paper Chase.
Paper Chase money boxes, the little crucifixes are cake decorations. If you're into, I'm guessing like a communion cake or something. I've never had a communion cake. I'm sure it's delicious.
So I hope I'm not offending anybody in the chat.
So obviously, and I remember you took a rather nice picture there as well, didn't you? So the lighting was right.
Less filters.
So obviously the t-shirt said "Holy shit," which we sort of made as well and went down that. And it was a fun
night.
And
we had wings on the back as well.
More of a chill costume, not as OTT. So we'll move into some of our other sections of OTT shortly. So
Oh, Butlins.
Mighty Hoop, this was an 11th hour one where we couldn't
Yeah.
decide what to dress as, but sort of they decided it was TV was a theme. There was tons of Cat Slaters, tons of Phil Mitchells.
You had the whole cast of EastEnders up on the stage. They could have done like an EastEnders episode. It's hilarious.
So we just decided to go as the test card girl.
So again, this is for some of the generation.
Yeah, those of you of a certain age will remember
we were
when TV stopped and it didn't just like
BBC
wasn't on
Two.
all night.
Yeah, and then there were so many people were having to say, just Google it, because they just didn't get it. But yeah, and I made the clowns.
Yeah, so we made those clowns, and obviously we did our own offensive graffiti sort of. Those backboard things are like strapped on around your shoulders, and you could walk around carrying it as well.
Luggage. We used luggage straps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also had a denim theme on the night, so we decided to like, kind of do a little bit of a play on when Brittany and Justin dressed that infamous denim outfit.
Yeah.
So I went as like a denim gimp.
Yeah, and I just got a top. I think it was from Boohoo. It was a dress. I've repurposed it. You can see up the middle, I kind of took the dress up, and they had these great big poofy arms. Problem is, the weight of the denim, they were just drooping, so I just got some newspaper and just shoved them up the arms. And again, didn't want to go for the grotesque. Kind of wanted to try and stay cutesy.
But every time we make something, we learn something from everything you do, and then you'll kind of like score something. So
one door closes, we're talking about Sink the Pink, and another one opens.
Yeah. So Sink the Pink decided to finish.
Call it a day.
Yeah. And as has a lot of the other nights as well, obviously like Birmingham's Glitter Ship is no more. What Club?
But they
no more.
invited us for the last hurrah. So we decided we were going to go big.
Yeah.
And
so,
boy, didn't we go big.
Yeah. Now, this was held at Printworks, which are not a particular venue I'm massively fan of. Things like Troxy was really nice and classy and like an old theatre, so like got like a lovely feel to it. Whereas the Printworks is a lot more of like an air hangar.
Yeah. So for this, again, trying to get through the crowds was really, really difficult because it was busy. And we did get up on stage. You can see there is the big group photograph. We're up in the top corner there. It wasn't the most glamorous place to.
It was like Dr. Raj. We were with on stage.
Yeah, I think Ryland
Ryland
was
Clark
there as well.
was there as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like huge back pieces there, man. I mean, obviously they have to be almost like sort of 4 to 5 foot
and they
across,
weren't particularly heavy because again they were made out of.
They're like metal hoops. It's not a macrame ring, but like some
Yeah.
sort of metal crafting hoop.
And again, from Hobbycraft, they'd shown examples where they'd taken ribbon and just tied it around the ring. So we ended up watching like a load of like Dogtanian from the 80s, which is an animated cartoon, back to back, while we just ended up doing that. It took a long time.
Yeah.
But again, not particularly heavy, just a bit cumbersome trying to get through.
Hot gluing hundreds of flowers onto those back pieces.
Yeah.
Like the front and back are both covered in flowers as well. Okay. And that was a picture of the final night where obviously you can see those are the performers on stage that we sort of like got to, top left there, got to sort of like hang out with as well. And Glyn and Amy in the middle there.
Yeah,
the sort of
the founders
of it. Now, Glitter Shit in Birmingham had some good themes as well. So the one night they did a theme which was festival, and I was trying to think of like what look to sort of do, but I was like, what's different to festival bands? You don't do bands like amplifier system, and I thought about obviously the balloons that all those young people seem to love huffing, and especially when you go out to club nights and then you're walking around kicking the canisters on the floor as you go out and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's just irritating. So I wanted to do a look based on that. So what you see there is a result of like, I don't know how many thousands of balloons glued onto a morph suit. Where I burnt and scalded my hands multiple times in the kitchen, screaming as well.
But you suffer for our art, don't we?
Yeah, you've got to suffer for it a little bit. And obviously, it looked good. I've got a little bit of vision there, and there's two sort of black patches that you can kind of see in my eyes. So and there is a guy, for those of you familiar with sort of
Daniel
like certain
Lismore.
artists, Daniel Lismore, who's like who's like living art. He wears extraordinarily elaborate
from
costumes.
Coventry.
And he walks around in places, and obviously, like, he's impressively.
He's done TED Talks as well.
Yeah.
But,
Okay,
so this is where we ended up going to Mighty Hoopla, and they hadn't done a theme, and I just wanted a really big hat. And at the time, there was the guy Portus.
off of that voguing
Yeah,
program.
had been at the Met Gala, and you may have seen his hat where he got the fringe, and then
Billy
he pulled
Porter,
Billy Porter, yeah. And then he kind of opened. So we used foam board. We took a hat, and then this is where we started to get a little bit better with making sure it fitted our heads correctly. And sometimes you have to pad mine out as well because my head's a little bit smaller. And then so that wasn't too heavy, but you have to, so you have to like be mindful as well that people are going to grab at you. And then this is where I did actually sew each row of the fringe onto a catsuit. Before I'd done it by hand, but I'd realised I'd got a sewing machine by then, and I'd learned how to do it. But that took quite a long time doing 2 catsuits.
Is it ombre fringe? They call it that, where it's like dip dyed as well. So
yeah, and our inspiration for that.
Yeah. Now, if you're going to buy stuff as well, make sure you search on different websites, because obviously this on Amazon was quite expensive, whereas if you go to AliExpress or DHgate, you can get the same thing cheaper. You've just got to have that little bit of a wait before it arrives. The inspiration, as Mickey says, for this was a car wash. Yeah. I was just like, well, I want to dress like a car wash as well. So.
And we like things that have got movement as well. So when you're spinning around and then all the fringe is going everywhere, and it just has that wow moment as well when you first walk into the big pavilion that's at Butlins.
Now, this was our fringe era that we moved into then, didn't we? Because
so
then did another look.
Yeah. So this was Mighty Hoopla at Brockwell Park in London. So now we're outside. So again, we had this big hat, but by then the Mighty Hoopla at Brockwell Festival in June was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm only 5 foot, so trying to get through crowds is quite difficult.
You think they'd move out the way when you've got a giant hat? But
they
don't.
They don't. I was finding myself with the hat, like hitting people in the face with it. It's like, just move out the way. But again, that was a really nice outfit to wear.
Yeah,
Enjoyed
and put in the
that.
sun, perfect.
Oh,
when
perfect,
the sun hits that, look good.
Yeah.
Although we did find, didn't we, one girl we spoke to at some point, she goes, I had to take a picture of you because I was on drugs, and she goes, I wasn't sure if I was hallucinating or not. So that's exactly what we're going for. We want people to think that we're like the sort of byproduct of psilocybin or something.
Yeah.
The theme for that, the inspiration for that was like lampshade, and there's a film called The Holy Mountain, which I haven't actually seen. I just liked the imagery of the weird sort of guy there with the goats.
With the goats, yeah.
We like weird hats. At the moment, Mickey is watching so many Korean dramas on telly that
of the Yosen period. I love what they wear.
Yeah, that you want, like, we want to look at some, without culturally appropriating, some sort of Korean hat themed thing down the line as well. So as I say, we've not just limited this to the UK, we've been around various places as well. So we took a trip to New York, and we went to DragCon in New York.
So this is where Dragula, which is more of your alternative to, RuPaul's Drag Race. This is where the ooky spooky side of drag, where they go real club kids. And so we dabbled in trying to go the other side, the darker side, putting in contacts. Fair play for anybody who's watching that you're good with contacts, because I certainly am not. It took me an hour just to psych myself up to put contacts in. But we wore this outfit, I think, 3 times. But how hilarious is it going to New York, getting on the subway, not one person was even bothered with how we looked.
You say that, you can look, the guy behind the rail there in the middle picture there, he's peeking,
eye.
but then he's more looking at me taking a photograph.
Yeah,
it's like, mate, I'm not trying to steal your identity, mate, you're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got to that, and obviously anyone that knows the TV show Dragula will know that the Boulet brothers is 2 drag queens, one who's tall, one who's small. Yeah. So we actually got legged by a bunch of queens at one point because they thought we were the Boulet brothers.
They were bitterly disappointed.
Yeah, it's like, and then we turned around just like with the Birmingham accent and go, sorry, it's not drag. Sorry, mate. It's not all slag. Yeah, but we ended up getting...
Yeah, whoa, 57 must-see portraits. Woohoo, get us. Yeah, we were like, oh. So Aaron J is a really famous photographer in New York, and it was great that we got noticed by him, didn't we? Yeah. And then he took this photograph, and we love this picture as well because you can see he's taking a photograph of us while somebody else is taking a picture as well. But it was a really good convention, wasn't it? We really enjoyed it and had very good conversations with the drag queens that were there. Yeah.
But as I said, like, we lament the loss of DragCon in the drag world in the UK because it was better ran, much cheaper, No long lines. Whereas for those one that does go to that sort of thing, the British version or the stateside version, you have to like either queue up for like hours to meet the queens, and then you've got to pay like 40-50 pounds worth of merch. In England it's like 12 quid, 15
well, yeah,
quid.
well, you could pre-book your ticket, so you didn't have to queue, so you had time slots, which was much better run.
Yeah. We also
so this for me is like the epitome of dressing up. I loved this outfit, and we've gone to 4 different events all around the world in this outfit, and one of my most favourite times is when we wore it for it would have been probably the second Mighty Hoopla Brockwell. We had a friend, Becky, come with us. She never will ever go to a festival with us again, and I'll tell you why in a second. But as we were walking through Brockwell Park and we turned the corner and everyone's queuing, we got a collective round of applause, and we'd never ever had anything like that before. And it was so nice, wasn't it?
If I remember correctly as well, this picture was taken by a machine, not by a photographer.
So we ended up taking this to DragCon, and they had Anastasia is a makeup brand, and they had this fantastic camera, and you queued up and thought, oh well, why not? And again, when you have these photographs taken, you always takes you back on, you don't quite realise how good sometimes the costumes come out. And but this is an asphalt period as well, isn't it? Where we used to wear
and like suits. The disco balls on our head, which I think might look heavy, were not one of the Impulse Body Spray did a collection several years ago at Christmas where it came in a plastic disco ball. So as we were walking through Sainsbury's, we were like,
in sale.
Let's have that. And we've got like about 12 or 14
we just
of them
bought
in
the
the
whole
loft.
lot, didn't we?
So they're there for future. Expect to see more disco ball looks down the future.
And that's an American football hat. We just ended up putting
children's plastic joke
took
American
all the
football
stuff
hat.
off the front, put plastic mirror tiles on, added on and it was really lightweight. And those wings, when you're out in the festival and people want their photograph taken, it's like you bring the wings out and then they realise, stand back.
You can get, for those of you that are interested in mirror ball stuff, they're more expensive, but you can get acrylic mirror tiles, which are lighter and self-adhesive, whereas the glass ones obviously are awkward to glue, and when you mix adhesives with glass, it can sometimes fog it, so you lose the mirroring effect, and then you ruin the tile. So
one of the areas is we like to go with the comedy, because as we mentioned earlier, we can't compete with the abs and the beautiful men that are at these events. So we decided this was theatre. And again, we thought we're going to have loads of people with Wicked, we're going to have them dressed up like this, and we thought, what we can do that's different? We'll go as the audience.
So we made some royal boxes.
Made some royal boxes.
Yeah, and as you say, the opera glasses exactly. Now they were They were football training cones, and then some giant plastic sort of spheres, like half spheres, which we use for like spray, or to give ourselves like
furniture,
Looney Tunes eyes.
The black pupils. They're
the pads that you use to move a cabinet.
You put under your sofas and stuff like that. But I just said, I just want some really giant eyes. What can we do?
And we got lucky that we were walking through Morrison's, and in their nutmeg section, they had two frocks on sale, which happened.
But the inspiration for that, I wanted to kind of go like with the Muppets.
Yeah, Statler and Waldorf we were going for. And what you can't see here as well is round the back, we both had our skirts tucked into our knickers, so that you got a comedy gag when we turned around. Yeah. So not all of the events were like draggy events. Morning Gloryville is a sort of on-off at the moment dry rave in London, where you can sort of like dress up to dance as well. So we just went the one morning, she's like, what should we go as? And I was like, let's go as Rave Leopards. So we just did like a little, sometimes not everything has to be OTT in outfit. Sometimes it can be a little bit more low-key, a little bit more sort of simple, or then sometimes you can go more over the top.
So this was goodbye COVID, hello world. So of course we had a couple of years where we couldn't dress up, so we decided that this was spring, like a reborn outdoor event as well. This is the headdress that Toby was talking about, where it ended up crushing the skull. We went with the idea of going for the rings again. We tied the ribbons around. We got the dress from
it was pre-bought, but then we embellished
it. We put like the
extra stuff on it,
the Victorian style
panniers
on. Those shoes I've just sold on Vinted. They really hurt my feet. That was a beautiful outfit. And we had lights in as well, because we know at night it gets dark. And then the lights came on, which was kind of cool.
We're not always trying to look beautiful. Sometimes we're just trying to look stupid.
So puppets again. I love this.
Yeah, Mighty Hoopla has recycled their themes a few times as well, and obviously they did toys. So we once again, this was more of an 11th hour one where we couldn't decide what toy to go as. So we decided on Chickaboo, as known in the UK, but Monochichi
in Japan.
Yeah. Just 1970s Japanese monkey bear things.
Yeah. So we decided, we made the boxes. We wanted it to be illusion, so we were all dressed in black. For a lot of people, the hands again. And then one of our funniest moments is when we went out to the pavilion and then Vogue came on by Madonna. And then we just started voguing with the puppet hands, and everybody turned away from the DJ and looked at us and started filming us.
Yeah.
And we're like, ooh, we're in our element
Anytime
now.
You can dance with little puppet arms as well,
that was a lot of fun.
People will watch as well.
And working with fur is brilliant. It hides a multitude of scenes.
It doesn't matter if your sewing's crap, because fur will hide it. You can dirty stitch, it's fine.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Recently, Mighty Hoopla has gone abroad as well. They stopped doing their Butlins weekend, even though Butlins has put on their own version.
Yeah, don't tell Mama.
Which we're going to go and try it in January, but like Hoopla refers to it as Hoopla from Temu.
Yeah.
But Hoopla have now moved to Malta, as well as their Brockwell Park London one, which you can highly recommend. So they did a first one. Their theme was Barbie. We need something we could pack in a suitcase, because obviously we can't take giant costumes with us.
And again, this was the 11th hour. We really didn't know what to do, because we thought it's going to be warm. It's September.
There's going to be loads of Kens.
Not going to wear, loads of Barbies in swimsuits. We thought about like a girl's world, like when if a kid had got hold of a Barbie and
Barbie
cut
Q
its hair.
was the other one, like Barbies.
Burnt Barbie, put the makeup on, smudged it, defaced it. But no, with this, managed to get some inflatables, so that was easy to drop down. That's actually a miniature blow-up doll.
Yeah, it's not functional blow-up doll. It's just a blow-up doll for jokes. Yeah.
And then we found some little, like, from Build-A-Bear, were those skates from. But we were the only ones dressed up.
Yeah. And we did win a prize after a few nudges online, which I'm still waiting for it to come.
They did say there was a prize for the best outfit, and never heard anything.
No. So we have been searching for new nights as well. So one of the nights we started going to now is all back to Minehead, which is Fatboy Slim's takeover of Butlins as well. Recently we did another illusion costume, where obviously we pick what we want, because there's no theme. They do stupid or sexy on a Saturday night, so we generally go for stupid.
Yeah,
and we go for rave aliens this time as well. So the flying saucers that you see there are actually two children's sledges sandwiched together.
With plastic bolts.
Yeah, plastic bolts are excellent as well. You can get them on eBay as well, and they're great because you can use a soldering iron to puncture holes and things, and then you can bolt stuff together. Works really well. Pipe work from B&Q to make the exhaust ports at the back. We put electronics into it, so the whole thing lit up, went round as well. And once again, the same as the Monochichi costumes, using that oversized upholstery foam on a American football helmet for kids, pad it all up, and then do some sort of aliens. They were originally going to be 2-eyed aliens, but then we decided they looked too much like frogs.
Yeah.
So we decided to make it a 3-eye. Yeah.
So I don't know if you can see, our vision was very limited with this. And when we did a trial run with it, we did find that the neck area for me was too much, so we had to cut away a lot of the foam body so that I could actually breathe. But we lasted longer than I thought, but this one was a particular challenge to wear.
Yeah. So where do we work and make these things? Well, we used to have a garage. As you can see, we still have the cat. The cat is shut in the kitchen at the moment.
We decided to convert the garage.
Yeah. So we then turned our garage into a studio space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which now doubles as a sewing room and a little DJ place for us as well to play music as well. It's obviously nice to have a little environment, although you have to clean up after yourself because you can't just leave your crap and your glue and everything lying around everywhere. You got to keep it clean.
Yeah.
Where do ideas come from? Anything? I mean, we did a costume once that was based on
Drag World as
Jason
well.
and the Golden Fleece as well.
Kind of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we came first and second in a Eurovision drag contest.
I spookily look like my brother here. It's really weird.
Whereas you went as Cesar from one year, and I went as Rodolfo Cagliaturi, I think his name was, a Spanish entry as well. We ended up saying we came first and second. And then obviously you watch other queens and performers whose far superior makeup. But I was alright. I came across those rubber hands and I was like, it's fine. what's the design process? We have a cup of coffee. We come up with a stupid idea.
And
then
I'm
we go,
usually going, that's not practical.
how much is this going to cost, and can we make it happen?
We never
as
counter.
well? Yeah, don't count what you're spending
Yeah.
because unless you've got bills to pay, because some costumes can be relatively cheap, some can run expensive.
Rather making ignorance.
It normally starts as doodles and sketches, obviously
Yeah.
either on my phone or on sort of a piece of paper.
Terrible drawings,
Yeah,
but
that's
you
what
get
you need
the
to start
idea.
off with. And then materials and tools of trade, sewing machine, overlocker.
Yeah.
Experiment with adhesives. I don't mean
Yeah.
huff them. I mean as in like different adhesives work differently with different fabrics and
Yeah.
materials, and you have to experiment to see what will work. The upholstery foam I love working with.
Yeah,
foam
and
board I love
soldering
working with.
irons as well. Great for like getting screw holes into plastics.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, because I've kind of got back into sewing, what I tend to do is get some some cotton, and I will make I think it's called a twove, which is a mock-up first, just to make sure that I've got the pattern. This was one of the most elaborate costumes that I did, so this is just an example of me just making it.
Cat's tail in
Cat's
an
tail
action
there.
shot.
Always in the way.
But we always say you've got to give back and you've got to contribute. Now, sort of doing all these costumes and being exposed to this drag scene. Obviously, I do one of my side hustles is I do murder mystery acting. So this then led to me forming a group called Killer Queens, which was drag murder mysteries that I wrote. And we would then put them on at a bar in Birmingham, which I've luckily got a video screen. And I took one show to Leeds as well. So as you can see there, Mickey and I were playing Penny Bloodwig there. So we did it with puppetry, like Bunraku style, with the two of us, with me doing the voice and then two of us operating the puppet. But it's important, if you're going to be in a scene, to give something back to that scene as well. Quickly now, we're coming towards the end. Behind the scenes stories, what went wrong and how you fixed it.
Yeah, so this is one of the most ambitious outfits that I tried to do. So I started to do sewing, and I thought not gonna keep buying stuff. I want to actually make them. So I got a pattern for the trousers, but it was for women. What I didn't realise is obviously men don't have backsides, so they can't hold things up. Didn't do a walk test. So you can see here, this is in trying them on, and I kept on adjusting. I was really pleased because I did a corset. I'd seen trousers with corsets built in, so I made the corset and it's attached to the trousers. But as we started to when we put them on, started to walk towards the festival, I started falling down on Tobes, and I was mortified. I was so annoyed. I'd spent so much time on them. Both bank holidays in that May, I'd taken a day off work to try and get them altered, to get them fixed. We had to go straight to first aid, get some pins to be able to hold them up and actually pin them into his top.
So what are we doing about it? We're fixing
what do we
it.
do? So we're going to fix it.
Yeah, this is Disco Wizard Take 2 remix. Yeah. What we've done is, like, this time I've added shoulder pads, which I've made, which have been like motocross shoulder pad inserts, and then disco board them using the acrylic tiles once again.
Yeah, we're going to have to get a cape.
We just got fabric and we're doing capes. Obviously, Disco Wizard, or those of you that know sort of like
Big
the Three Storms from the Big Trouble in Little China film, that's the inspiration. The hat is hundreds and hundreds, must be 1,000 mirror tiles on there.
Yeah.
Don't ask how much it costs, because it's just a stupid flight of fancy.
I think somebody wanted to buy them, and when we
and I
told
was
them
like,
how
dude,
much,
it's going to cost you
they ghosted
a
us
lot of money,
afterwards.
and I've got to make it. We've recently just done a article which is going to be featuring in Pop Mess magazine, which is available in London. You see it in sort of like bars and clubs as well. So it's like 10 of our favourite outfits and our favourite picks, and we're very lucky that Hoopla obviously looks out for us and gives us little things as well, like that as well. And that
comes to our
us
questions and answers.
section.
If anybody's got any questions,
whack them in the chat.
Whack 'em in the
Anyone
chat.
would like to know anything about costuming, or
how can we encourage you to get onto your creative side?
We've got a couple in the Q&A, just to let you know, if you click on the Q&A tab, there's a couple there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The Q&A.
In the chat, is that sorry?
Is that in the chat?
No, it's a separate button at the bottom that says Q&A. I can read them if you want.
Yes,
go for it. Yeah, please do that. I like that.
Okay, first question. What do you do with the costumes after the events?
Very good point. So
Yeah.
you do not want to go in my loft at the moment. It is a nightmare. It's rammed. Some stuff can't fit. We can't get it up there because obviously things like the brimmed hats, they're too big. So we will, if we have to, break something down, components?
We can try and repurpose them. There are some outfits that they are only for one use only, and they do fall apart. So we feel quite bad that we have to chuck them away, and that's a lot of the puppeteer stuff that we have to chuck. And all the stuff that we've bought, like the cat suits and things like that, we've generally kept because they're nice and flat pack. But like Tobe said, there are some outfits that we are able to break down and repurpose.
Yeah.
We're trying to be as good as possible and not send everything to the landfill.
Electronics gubbing you can
Yeah.
take out, you can then store that away in a plastic crate and use it for something else down the line
Yeah.
as well. But like say, sometimes it pains us that we'll put it in the loft for a year or two, and then we're like, we've
Never
got
an
to get rid of that,
opportunity to
'cause
wear it
no one's
again.
going to ask us to dress as a monkey.
And
So
it's not as if we can sell them because they're kind of bespoke. They're built to fit us, and often we'll get approached by people saying, "Do you actually sell, or do you do any of your?" Oh, camera's gone off.
Yeah.
Do you do any bespoke work for people? But we know how uncomfortable sometimes our outfits might be. So we don't really offer it. If anybody wants our help, we're quite happy to give them.
I would much rather say somebody said to
Yeah.
me, I want to dress as a blah, how can I do it? And then I'd be like, right, let's think of ways we can do that.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite costume?
For me, it was the disco outfit. So that's the one that had the disco ball on the top with the big wings. That for me was my most favourite.
I like anything puppety because like you'll get people giggling, and I love that fact that sort of that like you'll get people walk along and then they'll see you and they're just sort of they're just laughing as you come along as well, and if you can make someone smile, they'll come in over and have a chat and stuff, and that's what makes it really.
What's
sort
your
of,
most favourite?
like I was saying, anything.
Guys, you've disappeared off the screen.
Yeah, I think our camera's gone. So
I'm just trying to see why
apologies.
it's playing up. Yeah. But yeah, basically that's what makes it sort of fun for me, is to do those sorts of things and obviously get a laugh and a smile. So
Yeah.
apart from that, it has been fun doing a little talk for you. You can see any of the costumes on Dressedival, which is on
feel
Insta.
free to take a snap on the QR code if you'd like to follow our journey and to see some of our outfits and what we will be working on next.
Yeah.
But just want to say thank you everybody for seeing all your chat, everything in the chat. Thank you so much for following our journey. It's so lovely to actually look back and see our catalogue of work. It's quite extraordinary, really, isn't it?
And don't expect me to be wearing that at the quiz at the next Rebel kind of like event and stuff, because it's like I will be just dressed in something kind of casual and comfortable. So you know, it can't always be OTT and crazy.
So apologies that the camera's gone.
And they just
Toby, I don't know if you heard in the background, Chris just said it's too late now, Toby. We've seen what you're capable of. Oh, it's a shame that we can't see you on screen anymore.
Oh, yeah, I don't know why
why
the
the
camera's it's plugged in. I don't know.
So random. Everything's gone black.
Yeah.
It
And
is.
the irony being that it was the most colourful presentation I've ever
You're
Yeah, there we
there,
go.
you're there.
Yay.
I'm gone again.
Oh my god, again.
Yeah.
The camera has said, right, it's bedtime.
Yeah.
We've had enough.
So apologies for that.
Thank you so much, guys. And the comments in the chat have been amazing. I'm chuckling at Yvette saying she's going to use some of these for forthcoming Scout and Guide shows. I'm assuming not fuckaroo, Yvette.
Yeah, that would probably not sort of go down too well with her.
I did also enjoy when you were like, oh, I hope this one doesn't offend anyone, after you'd had one where there was a bum on the front of the outfit.
Like I said, Tobes always likes to do the grotesque, whereas yeah, that's not for me.
Yeah, but I mean, I also felt with like the crowd we were aiming it at. See how long the camera lasts for?
No, sorry, guys.
Yeah, like we would, just give them something a little bit, a little bit of vavavoo, a bit of zhoosh. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Ali has said they heard a sound that like water pouring, so they're a bit worried something might fallen.
No, it's probably the sequins up against the mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. On that note, guys, we will let Toby and Mickey go before their computer explodes. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Guys, we've got just over 15 minutes until Rebel Master. Rebel Master is a game that you can play along with, or you can just watch everyone else doing it. In order to play, you will need to be in the Facebook event, okay? So I need you guys in the Facebook event if you want to play. It does sound, guys, it does sound like
It is, yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Right, so I will see you back here. Mr. Duck will be joining me. I will be in my completely different Rebel Master costume. Thanks again, Toby and Mickey.
No
Thank
worries.
you,
Thank you,
and thank you,
guys.
everybody.
Guys, bye bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.